Well, thank you very much for your time, that you take the time to probably answer the same questions over and over again the entire day. Yeah, you had a great year. You won twice in the European Tour, the Andalusia Masters, and the Irish Open. How do you reflect on this specific year, 2020?
Yeah, it's been a great, a great success. It's just, it feels so good working so hard for 6, 7 years. I turned pro in 2013. Uh, I've had some success, but not quite at the level of the European Tour. And so to have kind of broken through at that level is something that is really, really awesome. And to have done it twice in a month is something really, 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 really special, especially those two events. I mean, those are iconic events on the European Tour. So something
Yeah.
I'll always cherish.
And you won against yeah, our German Martin Kaymer. How was it? Like the last few couple holes, he had some big opportunities on the greens where he missed, and then in the end, he missed his chip shot to force the playoff by, I don't know, it looked like an inch from the TV.
Yeah, that's
What was going
about
on in
right.
your mind? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an up and down back nine. I mean, it's like, I had a 2-shot lead on 10, then he had a 1-shot lead on 12, and then I think we were tied on 15, and then I think we were pretty much tied all the way up until the last hole. I mean, it was just a back and forth battle, and Martin's a world class player, world class human being, and I really really enjoyed playing with him. I have no doubt he'll win. He'll win again soon. He's been up there in numerous events. The Belfry, obviously Valderrama, like we were just talking about. Top 10, I think at Wentworth. He's knocking on that door, and he's gonna get it. But that day it was my day, and
Yeah.
something I'm very very proud of.
Yeah, the luck was on your side that day.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it.
And yeah, then now what's the plan for the remainder of the season for you? There's some tournaments in South Africa and then the final in Dubai. Which will you play and what's your goal for that?
I'll play the two events in Dubai to end the year. My goal is to finish as high as I can on the race to Dubai. If you win that final event, always gives you a chance to win the whole thing. We'll just see where it all kind of comes down to. But that's my focus. Those two events, and I'm working towards being as fresh as I can and having my game be ready to compete.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, is there any specific tournament that is your favorite tournament that you need to play once in your life or that you need to win once in your life? Or is it now the Andalusia Masters, for example, because you won there?
Well, I mean, I kind of hinted at it with the green bag over there, but the
Yeah.
Masters, the Masters, that's the event I want to play in. That's the event I want to play in. That's the event I want to win. Just because of how it is, everything about the event. The golf course, the history. It's just
And
it's just
everything
an
just
amazing.
around it. It's the Masters.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
totally
It's
understand it.
such an amazing event. So that's the event I want to win.
I'm not quite sure about your current world golf ranking, but how far are you away that you get a spot maybe in the next spring?
Uh, 40. I think I'm 41 spots out. I think I'm
Hmm.
90. I think I'm 91 in the world. Last time I checked, I was 91 in the world. So if I crack that top 50, it pretty much opens up all of the majors and all of the WGCs.
Hmm. So that's probably your goal to get
Yes,
one step higher in the ranking.
absolutely. That is definitely my goal.
Yeah, you already mentioned you turned pro in 2013 before
Uh,
you played college golf, which is like the normal round for an American dude. But then you went to the PGA Tour Canada and then to Asia. Like, what was the reason for this? Why did you choose that way?
so starting out Canada, I just felt like it gave me an opportunity to try and earn status on what's now the Corn Ferry Tour.
Hmm.
Uh, PGA Tour was my goal, and that was kind of my main focus. But as I kind of continued to go on and on, I just felt like Canada was getting really tough. And my coach Noah suggested going to Asia, and I I didn't know much about it. I was actually kind of kind of against it to start off with. Uh, he's sitting over here laughing. You know, it's just, it was, it was definitely something that I hadn't thought of. It was, you know, it was a route that I hadn't really considered. And once I started to look into it, I saw how good of an opportunity it really was. You know, both from a, you know, money side, you know, just the cost of playing the tour, but also the opportunities that it would provide if you played well. And so that was kind of the driving motivator as to why I went. And you know, the first 2 years I kind of struggled a little bit, but then 2018 was when I was kind of able to break through, and because of that, I earned European Tour status. And you know,
Yeah.
because of the 2 wins, we're here talking. So.
And yeah, how can you, like, how do you do your entire year? Do you have some kind of flat or house in Europe, or do you stay in California? Because you play all over the world. Is there anywhere where you are at home, or do you live out of the mullet basically the entire year?
I mean, I pretty much feel like I live out of a suitcase, but yeah, I mean, California is where I come to, you know, see my coach and see my family, and that's where I grew up. So, you know, that's where my, you know, where my friends and family are. But yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have to travel for every event. It's, you know, you kind of have to make home wherever you are, because if you're too homesick, you're not going to be able to play golf
Yeah.
to the best of your, you know, the best of your ability. So you kind of have to, you know, be comfortable wherever you're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense to me. And then in the time where you've played in Asia, did you there develop the partnership with Strixon, or when and how did Strixon became a partner of you?
So it was the end of 2014. I was still playing. Actually, I believe I met Mike Dunphy middle of June when I was playing in Canada. I kind of chatted with him about some of the things I was looking for from an equipment side, uh, and he had mentioned, you know, he had kind of dropped the ball a little bit as far as, you know, getting everything sent over to me when I finished college, and he was like, you know, we're still very interested, and you know, that's kind of how it started. We just kind of kept chatting, and you know, kept going forward with that, and started 2015. They were still very interested. I was with Titleist at the time, and I tried all their stuff, and just, you know, for me, I just felt like it worked better for me. I felt like the Strixon stuff was just, you know, performing better for me, and so it was a pretty easy choice.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, are you a techie person? Do you want to know every technology behind the clubs? And if there's something new, how do you integrate it into your bag? What's the
Uh,
process of this?
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, for me, I'm not overly techie. I don't know all the stuff that goes on, but I'm very in touch with feel, and I'm very in touch with ball flight. And if I hit a club 3 or 4 times, I'll pretty much know immediately. Okay, that could
That's it.
work.
Yeah.
This is a little off. It needs this. You know, can we fix that? In and you know, we make little adjustments, whether it's a different shaft, maybe a different head, uh, something like that, and you know, we just kind of work through it. And that's how I've always found it to work best for me as far as fitting clubs to me. Not so much technical side, more just feel and how does it actually perform.
Yeah, that's in the end, this is what you need as a player.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the engineers do their job and you do your job playing well with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, then for the end, we have some quick fire questions. Don't
Okay.
think too long for it. Just what first comes and pops into your mind, and we have some this or that questions.
Okay.
Yeah, then first of all, if you could have like your dream foursome, which three players would you choose for that? Don't have to be golfers, could be any celebrity, any person you would like to play golf with.
Uh, Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer, and Jack Nicklaus.
That was quick. Why those three? Okay, like usually we ask why those three. Those three are kind of obvious, but why did you choose those three?
Just because they're the most influential golfers in my opinion. They're the most influential golfers that have played the
Mhm.
sport.
Yeah, and throughout all the decades, yeah. Then, who is your idol in terms of golf?
Tiger Woods. I mean,
Tiger Woods.
he was the guy that I grew up playing. I'm sorry, grew up watching him play, and just how he played the game. You know, how he won golf tournaments. You know, the will, the practice, the work ethic, all of that. I just really very much look up to.
Is that something you do too? Are you like a really hard worker, a really hard grinder? Are you out on the range and in the gym every single day, or do you take more breaks? What's like your balance with that?
I mean, I'm a very big believer that you always get out what you put in. So I definitely believe that you have to work really hard to get to where you're at. I don't believe success is ever handed out. You gotta earn it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more on the hardworking side. But there are times you have to get away from it. You have to recover. You're only a human being. You gotta get your sleep. You gotta see your family. You gotta see your friends. You gotta mentally recharge. It can't be go 365. But yeah, I definitely think you got to work really hard.
Yeah. And then what would you do if you wouldn't have become a golf professional?
That's a great question. And to be honest, I don't know because there was no backup plan.
There was no plan B at all.
It was all focus on golf.
On golf all the time.
Golf was my number one focus. But yeah, I think if you start giving yourself too many backup plans, your brain's not focused enough on what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, that's and what did you study in the during your college time?
Business.
Yeah. Then the quick fire questions. This or that, PGA Tour or European Tour?
PGA Tour is the goal.
Red or white wine?
Red.
Driver or putter?
Driver.
Attack the difficult par 4 with water hazard or lay up?
Depends.
It depends on the situation, probably.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
But if you are in a practice round, always go for it.
Yeah, well, you got to test it, right? So yeah, I'll give it a go in the practice round.
Then pasta or rice?
Being in Asia a lot, I would say rice.
And the sea or the mountains?
Sea.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset. I love playing golf at sunset.
Yeah. Then perfectly. That's a wrap.
Perfect.
We captured everything, and yeah, I really appreciate your time and that I was able to do the interview.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.